Okay, so, hey YouTube, how's it going? This will be a video where I tell you from my personal experience, so this will be based off of my personal experience. It may vary based on your location and your overall situation, but this is a basic step-by-step how to transition video. Okay? A lot of people are very confused on how to go about it. And this is understandable, especially to you who have transitioned, because you have at one point been in that position. So, I'm going to lay it out in order of how it happened for me. Okay, so here we go. The transgender transitioning process. Step 1. Realization and or therapy. If you're watching this and you think you may be trans, then this is for you. You all come to that point where you wonder, were you meant to be what you were born as? I don't know. Only you know that. So, how do you figure out if you're trans? First of all, you have to have the initial thought in your head. Turns out, most non-trans folk don't even think about this shit. Okay? So, if you're thinking about it, without just me saying this, if you've actually thought about it on your own, you may want to look into it, especially if you are not happy. Okay? So, how to define if you're trans. A lot of people who are trans generally are unhappy with their lives, have a lot of mental issues and distress, and also a lot of them actually have these things from way back when they were little. And like me, not everybody, but me, my memories were actually blacked out. Like, each time I went to bed and I had like some sort of move forward in this, my mind blocked out that memory. Why? I don't know. But when I was 21, it came back, and thus I started my transition. So, that's how you know you should be taking steps. Step 2. Well, not step 2, but step 2 to realization. Step 2 to step 1 is find a therapist. Or not necessarily even a therapist, rather a psychologist. You know, one of those people that can see inside your head better than you can. And more so, a friendly one to transgenders, whom is transgender experienced. And generally, within 1, 2, or 3 sessions, they can confirm whether you are trans or not. This is good. They could also help you from making a very serious mistake, because those of you who are not trans, who think you may be, turns out transition is not good for you. And if you go down the road and you cut something off, or you get something sewn onto yourself, and you're like, this isn't for me, it's a little too late. So, realization, most important step. Step 2. Your mental doctor can probably help you with this one, and that is coming out. Coming out to your friends and or family. This can get kind of difficult. It can get very tricky as well. The best advice I can give you is to know what you are. So coming out before step 1, realization, is no good. So the best tool you can have for coming out is knowledge. Knowing what transition is, knowing what transition entails, and knowing yourself and what you plan to do. When you come out to somebody, be it friend or family, they are going to have a lot of questions, and they may react in a good few different ways. Some react shocked, and generally the ones who act shocked will take one of two routes. They will freak the fuck out and start crying, or they will take the positive approach and say they accept you. Neither means anything other than what you have to deal with in that moment. If they freak out and start crying, they may get used to it and accept you. Or they may not, and they may throw you out. Or if they say they accept you, there may be those undertones of what they say afterwards, or maybe they'll come back and say they're not okay with it, or maybe both. Maybe, like my parents, they will say they're okay with it, and then just kind of hurt your feelings over and over again until the day they see a woman in their front yard, and like, yeah, then come to terms with it and accept it and become loving, normal family. Or they may take the aggressive approach. If you live in closed-minded redneckville, wherever that may be, some people get really pissed off. And don't fight them. That's not good. Well, maybe fight them. Depends on your situation. But the best thing is knowledge. In whichever way they react, which is a various amount of ways. Just think about it. I'm sure you can think of like 5 billion different ways people could react to that. You need to know who you are, what you're doing, and what it entails. And the best power in this process is knowledge. Okay? So if you can answer those questions they have and help them better understand what you and we are, then it will be easier for them to comprehend and accept it. Okay? You just need to they don't need to be fully okay with it. They just need to be able to accept it. And as they see you grow, so will they. They will grow into it. They will grow to accept you. That's how people are. People aren't naturally despicable. They just have to know. And they have to see. And they have to grow. Okay? The way I went about it is I came out to 3 of my friends. And this is a perfect explanation because in 3 different ways. My first friend, Nico-chan, accepted me in every single way and encouraged me and loved me, and she's amazing. 2, my other friend, Maddie, she was super shocked, and she disappeared from my life for a little while, and then she ended up coming back and growing into it because she knew she loved me no matter what, and she's back to being my super best friend, and we're closer than we were before. And then my other friend, Sean, he accepted me fully. He said he would support me. He said it's totally awesome that I can be honest with myself. And then he disappeared from my life, and I have never seen him again because he has no interest in dealing with someone like me. And that's fine, because if he wanted to leave my life, that's his loss. I'm okay with it. And then, family. I started with my mom, and then I told my dad with my mom. So, that's just a little layout of how to do step 2, coming out. Now, step 3, finding a doctor and getting on hormone replacement therapy. Now, there are various amount of ways to do this. That first doctor for your head, after that step, generally, if they're experienced, they know doctors whom they can refer you to. Easy. But some people, like me, did not live in an area where that is possible. So, I actually tried getting a therapist. She didn't know what she was talking about, so I went on my own, giving another option in this step. Self-hormone replacement therapy. Now, it sounds all well and good, but it is very, very, very dangerous. Self-hormone replacement therapy can kill you. It can make you depressed. It can break down your liver and kidneys. It can give you various amounts of cancers. It is not good for you unless it's done right. Okay? More is not better. Too little is not good. You have to find the right spot for your body, and you won't be all emotional all the time. Well, you will for a little while, but it won't be like dramatic, I want to kill myself. If you're thinking about killing yourself and you're on hormone replacement therapy, you need a doctor and you need to lower your doses, because you're all sorts of out of whack. Not good. So, if you decide to go in self-therapy, I don't recommend it. It is dangerous. But you would want to go to inhousepharmacy.com. Now, remember, self-therapy is really expensive as well as dangerous. So, in the end, and you can also search people who have had bad side effects from hormone therapy. And it's not good. There are videos of girls out there who have gotten blood clots to their brain and almost died and came back and was not able to continue hormone replacement therapy. And then there is people who have been able to continue hormone therapy, but it's very different from the normal process. So, you can research that, but just know it's dangerous. So I would personally recommend getting a doctor either through your therapist or psychologist, brain doctor, or I would suggest going to your local LGBT group. And if you do not have a local LGBT group, or if your local LGBT group does not know, then search your LGBT group for your state on the internet. They will know. And there are various amounts of trans help for various states all over the country, and it's very good. It will help. And basically you just want a trans-friendly doctor. Yay! After finding that doctor, you will speak in hormone replacement therapy for 1 year. Let's say 1 year, because this is me. I've been on hormone replacement therapy for 1 year. And during this 1 year, let's have a few sub-steps. Let's have 3 sub-steps to step 3. So, sub-step 1, occurring in this year of hormone replacement therapy, is your name change. Discover your name that best fits yourself, in whatever way you so choose to find it. It's not that hard. It's just like anything, like the transgender name change isn't all that crazy. It's just changing your name, going down to your courthouse, getting the documents, filling them out, and paying a lot of money. Shit happens. It's the only way you can get it done. So, let's do that. Step 2, section step 2 and step 3 is hair removal, be it plucking, or laser, or electrolysis, or weird creams and knives and whatever. Get rid of it, or grow it if you're a female to male. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. And then step 3, most important step of overall step 3, step 3, subsection 3. Within that 1 year, come to your point where you can be full time. This is where you're going to learn about yourself. This is where you're going to learn your place in society. This is going to be where you learn to find yourself as the opposite gender of which you were born. This is the most important step, because this lays out your growth for who you are. This, like, some people don't really have to look at, like, some people can look really masculine, but by who they are and how they know who they are and how they act and how they perceive themselves and how they interact with others, it's just like, it works, and people know based off how that person and who that person is. Bringing me to the end of step 3, coming out. Or finding a doctor, actually, is step 3, but like, whatever. Anyway, step 4 is a transition note. I'm currently on step 4. This is a loophole, kids. Sometimes you can find a doctor who says your transition is complete, and they will write you a note, and with this note you can get various things changed to an F instead of an M, and that's good. So, okay, yeah, that's good. That makes sure you're safe. That makes sure you don't have any issues finding work. That makes sure all this junk. I'm sure you know the implications of having that little F on your ID. And then follow that with the surgery. But step 4 and step 5 can go vice versa as well. Step 5 can become step 4, getting your surgery, and step 5 can be step 4, 4 to 5, with the transition notice. Either way, your end cause is getting that little F, and then all that legal junk is done. Yay, no more legal junk. Okay, so, wow, I tried to do that all really fast. I'm sure it was a jumblefuck. Anyway, I hope you were able to just write down. Oh, I'll just go through them really quick again. Step 1, realization and therapy. Step 2, finding a doctor and hormone replacement therapy for a year. Step 2 is coming out. Step 3 is finding a doctor and hormone replacement therapy for a year. Step 3, subsection 1, is name change. Subsection 2 is hair removal. Subsection 3 is full time. And then step 4, a full step, and step 5 can vary, but whichever way you do it, or can do it, transition note and surgery, or surgery and transition note. I hope this helps a lot of people, I really do, and I hope all my ramblings and whatever wasn't too stupid, but that is a basic layout to transition. So, yeah, anyway, I hope this helps all of you do what you need to do to be you. So, yeah. Anywho, I hope you all have a fantastic day, and happy transition. Ta-ta.